It's a feeling that no one can explain, really.
Welcome to WMX Inside. Today we have a very special guest, Taylah McCutcheon. Like the video, comment, and hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it with Taylah on WMX Inside. Hey Taylah, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thanks. At what age did you ride a bike for the first time?
I started riding when I would have been, I think, 5. And then I quit for a few years to do cheerleading. And then I got back into it pretty heavy in 2018. And it's been really good since.
Do you remember your first race?
Oh, I think it was a Suzuki quad, if I'm correct. And then I got a KDM 50.
You won the Australian Junior Championship title. What memories do you have of it?
So just before the 2018 Aussies, me and Dad decided to get into training really heavy, and then Mum took me around nearly 3 days a week, just really heavy riding. And then we went down to Tasmania with no expectations at all, and then qualifying came around, and I qualified P1, and that's when it was head down and start to really go for it. And then I just remember winning it. I went 5 wins from 5 races, and it was so exciting. One of the best things.
You won the title when you were young. Do you think you have more pressure after that?
I didn't think I did, no. But unfortunately, I had a bit of an accident in 2019 where I punctured my bow and it just sent me back a lot. I was 4 months off the bike. I only had 4 weeks on the bike in preparation for the 2019 Aussies, and I rode horrible, but I had no expectations. To be honest, I probably didn't expect to win after having so long off, so I was just glad to be there.
You were selected to represent Australia at the first FIM Oceania Women's Motocross Cup with a victory. Individually, you finished second with the victory in the third race. Tell us about this weekend.
Yeah, so that was so exciting to get picked to represent, obviously, Australia. We do it with pride, so it was so awesome. Race 1, I got off to an absolute horrible start, and I think I finished second for that one, which it was okay. And then race 2, I was second. I got into the lead, and I started to have a bit of a lead, but I had a bit of a goggle malfunction when it was raining, and I had to stop and take my goggles off, which was a bit of a shame because obviously that put me into, I think I was third, and then I caught right back up into second, and then I was right behind the leader, but it was too late to finish. I think one more lap I would have had it, so it's unfortunate that obviously I had a bit of a goggle malfunction, but that's all good. And then race 3, I just came in as heavy as I could. That was P1 for the last moto with a 15-second lead. So that was wicked. I felt so good. It was an awesome weekend.
A few weeks later, you suffered a serious facial injury following a crash during training. Was this the worst moment of your career?
It was one of the hardest injuries I've ever had. It changed everything. Even now, like, I'd be lying if I said I still don't think about it sometimes. But yeah, it definitely changed my career. I was honestly going to give it up, to be honest. It's in the past now. We're nearly going on to a year since that accident. So I'm just glad to still be racing and riding the way I am.
At this moment, you didn't know if you would ever be able to get back on the bike. A difficult period to live physically and also mentally. What did you hold on to at that time?
Look, with all my injuries, the doctors did say it was a bit of a risk racing again. So I just pretty well sat on the sideline. I spoke to the team and stuff, and I honestly was content on not getting back on the bike. And then I think we were 4 months into my journey, and I can't remember. I think I was just sitting in the lounge with my family, and I was like, I'm just going to go put a helmet on, and I'm just going to go ride out the back for a little bit. And then the moment I put that helmet on, it was a light switch from there. And I said to Dad, like, I just want to ride again. So From then, I took another few months off until I could actually go into riding seriously. I had to wait for all the bones and the plates in my face to settle down. Because obviously, if I was to crash or get a rock to my face again, it could be a lot worse again. So yeah, it was just a light switch, and then once I knew, I knew.
Finally, you are back on the bike a few months later. Tell us so about that feeling.
It's a feeling that no one can explain, really. Being told by so many doctors that it's probably best you don't ride again, and having to sit in hospital like after every surgery for like 4 weeks, knowing that I'm never going to be able to do what I wanted to do again. It was probably the hardest thing I think any athlete could ever hear. So yeah, when I got back on the bike, I was bawling my eyes out. It was so emotional. Like even thinking about it now, like I still get emotional seeing how far I've come. So yeah, I just remember lining up on the gates for my first race. It was a Queensland titles. So I just went straight into it. And I got off to the first race. I was bawling my eyes out to my dad on the start line. And yeah, I can't even explain the feeling. It was just so surreal to finally be back doing what I love.
This injury changed something.
I think that as horrible and as nasty as this injury is to me or to anyone, I think it was a blessing in disguise. Obviously, for me being quite young still, I would go out to a race day or a practice day and just pin it and not have any care in the world what's going on. So this injury kind of taught me just relax and take a step back. And so now when I go to the practice track or racing, like I'm a whole different person, I believe. And I feel like that's a good thing. It sucks that it had to take something like that to realize, but I'm glad it did because yeah, it's changed me a lot. Like I go on the start gates. Obviously, everyone's nervous. That you can't not be. Um, but yeah, it's so much better now. I definitely feel like a better rider.
You made your return to the Australian Motocross Championship with a second place, then a victory in the last round. How did you experience the end of your season after all this?
It's crazy to me. Like I went into Toowoomba just absolutely no expectations. To be honest, I was going to be surprised if I top five. I knew I had the potential to run up in the top speed, but I didn't care really. I was just happy to be there. And then practice and qualifying came around, and I think it was like point 0.5 off the leader, and that's when we were like, wow, you go and have 7 months off the bike. Um, to a traumatic injury and then going to the start line and knowing that you're only point 0.5 off the leader that's won consecutively for 5 years or whatever it is. It was such a surreal feeling, and me and the team were stoked for second. And then we obviously go into QMP. I was super sick that weekend, like as sick as you could be. And then I was in the right place at the right time the whole weekend, and yeah, I came out on top. So to do that for my team, for having my back, yeah, it was so awesome. Like I owed it to them completely. So I'm glad I got that one done.
Now you are focused on the upcoming season. How is your training going to prepare for the new season?
So I've currently traveled over to New Zealand. I'm here for about 3 to 4 months doing my preseason with Triple Eight training. It's been a massive step in the right direction, I believe. I think this was the best thing for my career. Being in a country where no one really knows you, you're there to focus on yourself, and there's nothing going on around you. Since I've been here, yeah, it's just been head down, and we've been working really hard. So yeah, massive shout out to Billy Frank from Triple A Training. He's done so much for me in the past 6 weeks of being here. So yeah, we've really been knuckling down, and it's been so good since being here. So yeah, I can't wait to put it all to show in 7 weeks' time.
You have been selected again for the second edition of the FIM Oceania Women's Motocross Cup on home soil. What do you think of the new features, particularly the presence of Team USA and Team Africa?
I think it's awesome. Once again, I'm stoked to be picked for Team Australia. It's such an honour to represent Australia. So to have Team USA and South Africa come over now and race us, it opens up the eyes to women's in motocross. It's so cool to have people from different countries coming to race us instead of us always having to travel. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see them girls and obviously see how we all go together. It'll be such a big atmosphere, I believe, for us girls. So yeah, I honestly can't wait till the gates drop.
You will be competing in the New Zealand Championship and Australian Championship this season. What are your goals?
To be honest, like my any athlete's goal is to win, but my goal is just to stay healthy at this point. I always seem to crash out during my seasons, but hopefully now that I'm a new rider that stuff doesn't happen. Look, realistically, the goal is to win. I think that is for everyone, but I guess it comes down to whoever's the best girl on the day, and obviously for the championship. So yeah, just stay healthy, race as best as I can, be consistent, and be within that top two every moto.
For the first time, the WMX World Championship will have a GP in Australia in Darwin. What do you think about that? And will you be behind the starting grid?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing. I mean, we haven't had a GP in Australia in forever. So for them to finally come to Australia is so exciting, and I guess that opens a whole new avenue for me and obviously the other female racers in Australia that I feel like for me, I wouldn't even say I'm focusing on the Aussie nationals or anything like that. Obviously I am, but I feel like my bigger goal is to perform on a world stage. I think that's for everyone as well. Um, so yeah, I hope to be behind them gates. I'm going to work really hard from now until then, so that way, if I do get behind them gates, I'm going to be there to perform and do my best, and hopefully end up, in a good position.
Is it a goal for you, the WMX World Championship?
Yeah, 100%. I was meant to go over last year, but unfortunately, when I done my face, it kind of just knocked down them doors. So yeah, to have them reopened in Australia, it's awesome. Yeah, it's honestly so good. I can't wait to go racing in them.
You hope it will open some opportunity for the future?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope that if I can race at a good potential, and some other teams can see what I can do, it would be awesome to head overseas to Europe and race the GPs full time.
What advice would you give to a young girl wanting to start motocross?
Just follow your heart. Don't quit no matter what, unless you're fully done. Don't listen to what anybody else has to say around you. That's got to be the biggest one. Just block out everybody else's opinion. I feel like that's a big thing for girls in motocross. Obviously, it's a bit hard being in a males-dominated sport. So yeah, to any of the young ones, just keep doing you and don't listen to what's going on around you.
You continue for the year with Empire Kawasaki. Um, what what do you think about the support during this year with your injuries? And what are you want to share with us about the team?
Honestly, the team's amazing. I'm so glad I've been with them. I've been with them for 3 years now. They've had my back through every single injury. I mean, as an athlete, not completing a championship's obviously hard for a race team like that, and they've still had my back and they still see potential in me. So I guess I owe it to them. So that's the goal for this year: is not only to win a championship for myself, but win it for my team. So yeah, hopefully that my partnership with Empire Kawasaki continues, and yeah, we keep going further and further.
So, favorite motocross track?
Oh, ooh, that one's a tricky one. Probably Penguin in Tasmania. I don't know why that track is wicked. Or Rockhampton in Australia as well.
Best friend in the paddock?
Oh God. Um. Oh, that one's tricky. um. I don't know. I have a few good friends. That one's hard. I might leave that one.
Two stroke or four stroke?
Oh, four stroke for sure. I was so bad on a 125, so I got to say four stroke. But I love an 85 though. So
What's your all-time favorite motocross memory?
um honestly, probably winning at either winning my Australian titles for the first time or winning after my injury. Like, yeah, just to see my family and all that have my back, and the team and that. It was just so surreal giving it back to them.
Why did you choose your race number?
Why did I choose it?
Yes.
Honestly, I actually think I think my team manager chose number 10, if I'm correct. at the time, which was Yuriv Konski when I was riding for Honda Australia. I think him and I discussed number 10, and I've been number 10 ever since. I've never changed it, and I don't look at changing it. I hope I keep it forever. I love it.
Favorite holiday destination?
That one's hard. Maybe the Maldives.
If
Somewhere
you have a
beachy.
if you have a superpower,
Oh. That one's hard. Maybe to be invincible. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
favorite app on your phone?
Probably TikTok. Just a classic girl answer.
Thank you so much, Taylah, for your time. It was a real pleasure to chat with you and learn a little more about you. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment if you have a question for Taylah, maybe for a next interview. Taylah, do you want to add some thanks?
Yeah, obviously, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And obviously, just a massive thank you to everybody that's behind me and makes these opportunities available. Penrite Empire Kawasaki, Kawasaki Australia, Alpine Stars, just everybody that has my back. Thank you.
Where can people follow you?
My Instagram will be Taylah10_ on Instagram, so make sure you follow that one.
I will put all links in description. Thanks a lot, Taylah.